We would like to lift our podcast today to our Father in Heaven. Fill the minds of our listeners and bless everyone's hearts with the security of knowing you are present. Open our minds to new ideas that is brought to us by our respective speaker for today, and remind us to share the best of our knowledge with others, especially those things that will lead us to you. In your wondrous name, we pray.
Welcome everyone to B.L.I.P, where we discuss topics that embody what's it like to be left in the face. I am Andy Babs from Class 2 HCE3, and with me is Ella Remedios from Class 2 Tom 3. Today, we'll be talking about the pressures of balancing work and academic life amidst the pandemic, with our special guest, Dr. Maria Claudette M. Alvarez-Agnes, PhD, RPsy, and RPM.
Today on the show, we're delighted to have Dr. Agnes. She is the current Assistant Dean of the UST College of Science and a professor to the College of Science Psychology Department. Not only that, but she's also the chairman of the CHED Technical Panel for Psychology Program of the Philippines from 2011 up to the present. So she will be sharing her experience and advice about balancing work and academic life amidst the pandemic.
So ayun nga po, hello Dr. Agnes and welcome to the first ever episode of our podcast, B.L.I.P. Kamusta naman po kayo?
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako ay natutuwa na naimbitahan niyo po ako dito sa CTHM at maraming salamat po sa imbitasyon niyo.
Yes, we are thankful to have you as our guest for our first ever episode. So, Dr. Agnes, Annie and I are curious about your college life. So, can you tell us a little bit about it? What was it like for you as a student back then?
I was just an ordinary and average student. No? During my college days, I went through adjustment process. Kasi galing ako ng probinsya, galing ako ng Eastern Samar, no? Oras Eastern Samar. And I had to double my efforts to cope with my academics since we were behind in terms of the academic preparation for the tertiary level. Kaya yun, nagsikap po ako at ito ngayon, nandito ako sa inyo, humaharap sa inyo.
Grabe naman po nun. So, it's safe to say po na talagang nag-hard work po talaga kayo to get your current level of experience right now. And it's safe to say na you are one of the spearheads for our country's psychology department, di ba po, ma'am? Ikaw ba, Ella?
Well, I can relate po kay Dr. Agnes kasi po, nung senior high school, nag-UST na po ako. So, nung junior high school, from small school lang po. So, adjustment din po talaga and culture shock, di ba? And sobrang diverse po kasi talaga sa UST, di ba? Maraming galing probinsya, ganun. So, adjustment din po talaga.
Oo yan, Ella. Kahit ako na nanggaling nga Ateneo, sobrang nanibago ako sa UST. Pero I think similar culture naman and values are still present. So of course, ma'am, all students nowadays struggle to take on a path to commit to. With that being said, were you the type of student who already knew what you wanted, or did you also juggle between multiple programs?
Alam nyo, ako yung tipong estudyante na I am certain with my plans. From the very start, when I was still in high school, I started searching, anong program, anong kurso ang gusto kong pasukin. And as I've told you from the very start, I know what program I will enroll in and what I want to become. When I was in high school, talagang nag-search ako, kung ano ang karapat-dapat sa akin. Ano ang interest ko at ano ang mga subjects na mahihirapan ako. Hindi kasi ako magaling sa math. And nag-search ako, sabi ko, I want to enroll in psychology. Yun talaga nakafocus ako sa psychology. But when I was already enrolled in the program, I enrolled pala BS Psychology. And it's the preparatory for medicine. And you know what? There are a lot of mathematic courses. Merong algebra, may geometry pa, merong statistics. Hindi lang yon. Meron pang chemistry courses or subjects, 15 units, lec and lab. At may zoology pa. Yun yung mga iniiwasan ko, alam nyo yun? Lahat ko na-enroll. Nandun pala kasama siya sa course offering ng B.S. Psychology program. At may physics pa because it's a pre-med course. And I was just thinking, that psychology could be my pre-law course. Pero iba pala siya. But I came to realize that I really need to study, Kailangan kong pagbutihin ang aking pag-aaral at with what I've discovered in the course offering, it did come to my mind not to juggle, between multiple programs. Kasi ang nasa isip ko, if I'll shift to another program, magtatagal ako. Kawawa yung parents ko, kawawa din ako. Alam nyo yung bago kang salta ng probinsya, tapos, alam mo, ayoko yung palipat-lipat ng program. Talagang psychology ang gusto ko. And yun, at natapos naman, I tried my very best. At ito nga, nakatapos, lahat ng may ni-enroll ko, sa awa ng Diyos, pumapasa naman po ako.
Well, good for you po that you were sure of what career path you wanted to pursue from the very start. Kahit di nyo po in-expect na yung course na nakuha nyo is puro mathematics or science. Pero I think you fell in love with it naman po nung nandun na kayo.
Yes, kasi yun talaga ang gusto ko. Tsaka, I really love psychology, because psychology is the study of human behavior, scientific study of human behavior, at gusto kong pag-aralan yung behavior ng mga tao. Yun.
Well, ako po kasi, to be honest, I really had a hard time po choosing what course to take for college kasi di ko po sure talaga kung saan talaga ako belong. And I'm sure that many of our listeners have experienced the same thing po. How about you, Andy?
I agree with you, Noella, kasi habang nakikinig ako kay Ma'am Agnes, tatawa kasi ako kasi same lang yung experience niyo po sa nanay ko po kasi both my parents are also in psychology sa UST. Yung gusto nga din iwasan ng nanay ko is yung mathematics. Grabe naman po talaga, napasubo ang nanay ko sa math, sa psychology. Pero I think what's fun is you really learn to love the course po talaga, di ba? Like, at first kasi syempre it's an unknown element for some, syempre entering college could be really scary for people. But once you start or already experience everything, you slowly learn the ropes around your current course, diba? Syempre for us CTHM, nanibago talaga kami, syempre given the online setting. Parang ang hirap po talaga na magluluto pa pala kami sa aming sariling bahay. Akala namin dun sa school. So moving on tayo, El. Anong sasabihin mo dyan?
So, yun nga. Let's now move on to the next question. So, Dr. Agnes, did you ever think of dropping out or taking a leave of absence because of the pressures of school workload? Because I know that many students nowadays are considering filing one po.
Alam nyo, sabi ko nga sa inyo, certain ako sa aking plano sa buhay, high school pa lang ako, talagang plinano ko na siya, na ito ang i-enroll ko. And when I discovered that I enrolled in the B.S. Psychology program, a pre-med course, alam mo, hindi yan pumasok sa isip ko na magdo-drop ako, mag-a-apply for leave of absence. Kasi nga, gusto kong tapusin kung ano ang pinasok ko. And I was certain that this was the degree that I wanted to obtain. Kasi sabi ko sa inyo, palipat-lipat, mahirap. However, yung sinasabi niyong pressures of school workload, naranasan ko yun. yung personal, yung social, yung academic. I also experienced all of these pressures, especially that I am a product of a public school, no, in the province, whose preparations for college is a bit behind. Hindi naman behind na behind, pero behind in terms of siguro yung mga research, yung ganon. Kasi iba yung dito ka nag-aaral sa Manila. And alam mo, nagkaroon din ng mga insecurities. Bakit? Kasi nga, you know how it is to study in a public school. Tapos biglang ihahalo ka sa private school, di ba? And andun din yung personal pressures. Yung, alam mo yon, yung nahuhumsik ako sa parents ko. Tapos, every afternoon, yung mga around 5 to 6 o'clock, yung palapit na yung gabi, umiiyak talaga ako kasi it's my first time to be separated from my parents. Kaya lang iniisip ko na pagsabayan ko yun, walang mangyayari sa buhay ko. And I'm thinking of my future, no? Tapos yung andun yung social pressure din. Bakit? Kasi nga, yung aking mga kaklase, alam mo yon, yung merong mga mayayaman talaga, and I can't afford to join them. I was always telling them na hindi ako papayagan, hindi yun ang kasi I don't have money to spend, unlike with these people. Pero I was so happy na ganun pala ang naging buhay ko. I have no regrets in my life. Kasi I was able to cope with all the academic problems, activities. At yun yung sinasabi ko rin sa aking mga anak. At sa iba na galing probinsya, no? Kasi when I had counseling with students, especially nung face-to-face pa na hindi maka-adjust kaagad yung mga first year, sinasabi ko yun sa kanila. I tried sharing my experiences. And I hope, yun naman yung iba, sabi nila, Ma'am, parang nakaka-relate kami sa'yo. And at that time pa, there was no phone, cellular phone. No? Pag binibisita ko ng mami ko, ng daddy ko, alam nyo yun, gusto ko nang sumama sa kanila. Kaya lang iniisip ko, do I need to go with them? How about my future? At least yung mami ko, yung daddy ko, okay na sila. Yung mga kapatid ko nakapag-aral na. Because I'm the fourth child in the family. Ang hirap pag ganyan, di ba? You have really to plan for your future. Naintindihan ko rin na yung iba, nagdo-drop out, kahit third year na, gusto pa rin lumipat. Alam ko, my experience in the academy. But we really have to know what are our interests, no? Para hindi tayo mag-drop sa program, hindi rin tayo mag-leave of absence.
I agree with you po, no, Dr. Agnes, na I think right now, a lot of listeners would really relate to your story. Siyempre, ako din po nakaranas na po ako maging classmates with students who came from public schools, and grabe yung hanga ko sa kanila kasi iba po talaga yung dedication and yung work na nilalagay nila sa studies nila. Like, minsan ako yung parang kaya ko sumabay dito, parang ako yata yung nalalaman na sa class, parang ang gagaling kasi nila kasi iba yung environment po talaga, diba, when it comes to public and private. That's a really competition po talaga siguro sa public na parang kailangan you have to really stand out and be the best. And I think that's an aspect that they've brought to them in their lives in the private setting. Kaya po talagang hanga-hanga ako. Pero as always, yun nga po, there are insecurities when it comes to those students. Siyempre, as a student from the other side who did not experience that, I always try my best to make them feel at home and have a friend group. Kasi alam ko naman po yung minsan they have troubles with their studies. We try to make a small family for them here po talaga.
Ask ko lang po, so naka-dorm po kayo nung college?
Hindi ako naka-dorm. Nag-rent kami ng apartment. Yun, talagang natuto akong magluto, natuto akong maglinis. Kasi wala ka namang aasahan eh. The training that my parents probably provided to us, to me particularly, naging resilient ako. Yung tipong kailangan kong tumayo sa aking mga paa kasi ang layo ng aming probinsya. You'll be traveling from our province to Manila, 24 hours by land. Minsan sumusubra pa. Pag plane naman, 1 hour, kaya lang, pagbaba mo, you will still travel 3 to 5 hours pa from Tacloban to our place. So, tsaka mahal ang pamasahe. Alam mo yun, you cannot afford to be going home every now and then. Mahirap pa noon ang transportation, ang communication. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, wala pang cellular phone at that time. Tapos, susulat ka pa, sa post office pa yon. Tapos, ibabudget mo yung pera mo. Alam mo yung mga ganyang scenario. But, it made me more stronger. And, sabi ko nga sa inyo, the resiliency was there. And, it helped me a lot to grow as a person, as a student. No? Natuto talaga ako.
I can relate po yung sa nakaka-homesick po talaga kasi nung senior high school nga po ako, nag-try po kasi ako mag-uwian from Las Piñas to UST po. And sobrang nahirapan po talaga ako. Na-experience ko na po na 3 hours ako nasa bus kasi rush hour. Tapos Friday po, Quiapo Day, di ba? Grabe po yung traffic kapag Quiapo Day. So nag-dorm na po ako. And thankful po ako na I have friends po that time kasi I don't feel lonely when I'm with them. And yun nga po, yung tulad nga po ng sabi nyo, ako po gumagawa lahat para sa sarili ko. Like, ako nag-aasikaso sa sarili ko, yung mga gawain sa dorm, yung mga pinagkainan ko. So, it really made me independent po.
With that, no, you will have a very good personality. No? Being independent, andun matututo ka talaga mag-budget, magiging well-rounded person ka with that.
Did you also feel the pressure from your, siyempre yung siblings po, yung mga na-reach po nila? Siyempre pag huling anak, grabe po talaga yung pressure kapag lahat ng mga kapatid nyo nag-shine na bigla sa college, gano'n po. Did you feel any pressure from them po then?
Honestly, yes. Kasi nga, ako average student lang ako. At nung elementary ako, high school, lahat ng mga kapatid ko, mga valedictorian, ako, alam mo yun, yung basta pumasa ka lang, okay na. I don't know if you are familiar with, kasi in UST, we have the Latin Awards, right? Diba? Cum laude, summa cum laude, something like that. But, nung high school, mga first honors, second honors, and ano lang, I got awards, pero hindi yung valedictorian, alam mo yun. But I was telling myself that I have to be certain with my goals in life. And they're really very supportive of me. Pag halimbawa, may kailangan ako, lalo na sa mathematics, sabi ko sa inyo, andyan yung kuya ko tutulong sa akin. Kaya lang, syempre, hindi rin all the time na nandyan siya kasi sinasabi niya sa akin, dapat matuto ka. You have to know the process. It's a practice. Ayun. Sa awa ng Diyos, pumapasa naman. Hindi naman ako bumagsak.
Ayun po. I think same lang po tayo ng situation po naman. Kasi pati po ako, grabe po yung pressure kapag yung tatlong kapatid ko nasa UP. Tapos parang sabi ko, hala, dapat ba UP din ako? Sabi ko, option ba yun? So, syempre, grabe po yung pressures nila. But with that being said, ano po yung naging motivations nyo that help you keep moving forward amidst the struggles you face as a student?
What motivated me, to keep moving forward amidst the struggles I faced as a student, it was the fact that I would like to help my family and my fellow Istihanos from Eastern Samar because I tried searching, mahilig ako magtanong. May psychologist ba dito sa atin? During my time, that was how many years ago? I won't tell you because you will know my age. No, joke lang. During my time, nagtatanong ako, meron bang psychologist dito sa Eastern Samar? Wala daw. So sabi ko, I want to be the first para makatulong ako. Kasi at that time, psychology, mental health, it was just taken for granted. Hindi kagaya ngayon. Pero hindi nila na-realize na importante pala ang mental health ng isang tao. Yun kaya, alam mo yun, yung tipong, yun ang aking motivation really to help people. And I started asking, bakit yung iba nagkakasakit sa ulo? Ano ang rason para matulungan sila? Ano kaya ang pwede kong maitulong sa kanila as a psychologist if in case pala rin ako? And true enough, natapos ko ang aking degree. Another motivation for me was I would like to finish the program that I've enrolled in kasi gusto kong umuwi sa amin, sa Samar, sa Eastern Samar. At gusto ko doon sa mami ko at daddy ko. Yun yung aking mga motivations. Kasi hindi ako mahilig lumabas dahil nga kulang yung pera ko to join my classmates, to join other people. At hindi ako talaga yung tipong palalabas. I would rather stay at home and clean our house.
Grabe naman. I think ang ganda po nung sentence na sinabi niyo na at the young age pa lang po talaga, aware na po kayo that mental health is being taken for granted. Siyempre, in the current state that we are a society right now, diba dati po, parang sobrang light lang po yung pagkaturing natin sa mental health na parang sinasabi po ng mga magulang natin, ay magdasal ka lang, ay nasa isip mo lang yan. Parang pag sinasabi po talaga sa atin yun, tas na downgrade po tayo, parang ganun ba? Parang ang ganda po nung at a young age na curious na po kayo and that's what led you to being a psychologist. Ang galing lang po talaga nun. For me, kasi parang alam niyo na po talaga kung ano yung gusto niyong gawin sa buhay niyo. Kasi many of us, syempre, the younger generation na nahihirapan pa din kung ano yung place namin, kung ano yung gusto gawin namin. Di ba nga, Ella?
I truly admire you po, Dr. Agnes, kasi passion niyo po talaga yung pagtulong sa mga taong nakaka-experience sa mga mental health conditions. And diba, it's about time we recognize mental health as essential as physical health, diba? We must break the mental health stigma po.
Correct. Inaral ko talaga, sabi ko nga sa inyo, nagtanong-tanong ako, ano ba talaga? Kasi, ano ba ang kurso na walang maraming mathematics? Napunta pala ko sa psychology. Pero aside from that, nung nalaman ko na konti lang mathematics, inaral ko siya. Maganda naman pala ito eh. Kasi the others, they're taking it for granted. At ang laki na may tutulong mo sa mga tao. Kagaya ngayon, na we're in pandemic. Ang daming may problema. So, somehow makakatulong tayo sa kanila.
So, Dr. Agnes, what would you feel if you were placed in the shoes of a student who is taking online classes considering the state of your mental health?
Actually, online classes is one of the best approaches that we can use in the academy, at this point in time or during the pandemic. And to tell you honestly, UST is a bit prepared for this. Sometime in 2002, we're doing already the online class with the guidance of our EdTech, Hindi pa EdTech ang pangalan nun. Tapos in 2018, when the K-12 program started, alam nyo yun, ang general education courses sa UST 50% online, 50% face-to-face. May training na lahat ang faculty members, may training ang mga students, at naging fully online tayo because of this pandemic. And this is the only way, para we can protect our physical self from the virus. Ito ay to safeguard one's physical and mental health conditions. Kasi if we will stay at home, talagang secured tayo na hindi tayo magkakaroon ng COVID unless meron talaga sa ating pamilya na magdala ng virus. Kasi kagaya ngayon, nasa bahay lang tayo. Tapos, students were able to adapt this online classes, although nagkaroon ng medyo a little bit problem, no? A little problem with that. Kasi nga, hindi tayo sanay sa fully online from 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock or up to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Kaya lang, alam nyo yun, yung tipong it's just a matter of time management on your part as students, on our end as your faculty members and administrators, and yung self-care mo rin. Kahit nag-online classes ka, asikasuhin mo rin yung sarili mo. Kasi meron naman synchronous tsaka asynchronous, di ba? Pag asynchronous, ang binibigay sa atin, bahala ka sa time mo, di ba? To do the assignments. So, magkakaroon ka ng time for your self-care. Tapos, yung meditation. And another one is, you have to connect with your friends online. Kasi iba rin, kagaya ngayon, nakikita-kita tayo kahit sa Zoom lang through the e-platform. Somehow, nababawasan yung ating mga pent-up emotions. Pag sinasabi natin sa friend natin, sa family natin, nababawasan yung ating mga problema. Tsaka exercise. Mag-exercise din kayo. Another one is good sleep. Kasi pag maganda ang tulog mo, alam mo, you can avoid the negative mental health conditions. Yung healthy diet din natin. Dahil alam nyo yon, yung tipong nag-online class, andyan yung pagkain, kain ka na lang ng kain. Halimbawa, pag magka-klase kayo, 7 o'clock, make sure that you have to present yourself properly to your teachers. Andun yung good grooming, no? And you should have the space, no, at home para may, kumbaga, parang pumapasok ka lang every day sa school. And another one is not to worry that much. Kasi halimbawa, yung teachers nyo sa online classes, hindi naman yan kaagad magsasabi sa'yo, ngayon palang diniscuss na bukas ang exams. Meron yan mga timeline that we are following. We have to enhance our immune system kasi nga para hindi tayo kapitan ng virus, and we have to think positively. Hindi to pwede na bumalik pa tayo ngayon, no? The government is already encouraging everyone for vaccination. Para later on, second term, next year, makapasok na tayo. Kaya maiiwasan natin ang negative mental health if we will abide with the policies of our school, of our parents, and other people, no? Kasi in UST, this is my experience, no? Being, you presented me as your assistant dean, no? One of the assistant deans of the University of Santo Tomas. The university is extending what? Compassion. Kaya binibigyan din kayo ng academic break, health break, alam mo, para lang to make sure that the mental health condition of everyone is really very good. Alam nyo yun, hindi lang kayo, pati yung mga teachers natin. And kamustahan is really very important at this point in time. For example, no, you have peer group. Is it possible, for example, that we can have a very short 20 minutes kamustahan, 10 minutes kamustahan? Alam mo, makakatulong yan sa inyo, sa atin, kahit sa ating faculty members. Kung halimbawa nagkakaroon din ang estudyante ng mental health conditions dahil sa online classes, hindi lang yun ang students. We have to think as well of your faculty members. No? But online classes right now is the best approach during the pandemic for in the academe. Talagang apektado ang academe because of this COVID-19, no, virus.
Well, I can say po na UST is kind of prepared po for online learning kasi napansin ko po, yung UST Blackboard po, meron na po siya before pandemic pa po. Nung senior high school po kasi kami, meron kaming tinatawag na Alta Day and pwede po kasi magpa-online classes ang profs pag Alta Day.
True. Totoo yan, di ba? Kaya lang, meron tayo yun ngayong Blackboard, di ba? Na noon, hirap na hirap tayo paano pumasok sa Blackboard. Pero alam nyo, natutunan din natin yun. At ang maganda, may training na ginawa ang UST, not only to the students, but also to the faculty members. UST didn't prepare for the pandemic, no, na talagang nag-online. But it was already the goal of UST to have also the blended learning. Kaya lang, nung mag-pandemic, at least students were oriented with this online learning. Yun talaga ang ating advantage compared with other schools. Na talagang sila na problema, hanggang yung iba nag-break, lahat na lang ipinasa yung mga students. Sa atin hindi. Talagang we went through the academic process. For example, in the College of Science, in the Department of Psychology, I was then the chairman of the Department of Psychology. There were parents who were asking me, itutuloy ba ang practicum or hindi? Itutuloy. Tinuloy ko. At the students graduated with all the courses included in the curriculum. There were a lot of concerns of our parents. Virtual lahat. You know, even the clinics, because we have clinical psychology practicum. The industry, they were not prepared for the virtual practicum. But we tried coordinating with our alumni at tinulungan nila kami with all of this. At ngayon, lahat na nag-virtual practicum. Kayo rin, nag-virtual practicum. At ang maganda, we're not limited to the local, no? Hanggang sa international na tayo virtual.
Yes, totoo nga po yan, no? Siyempre, we are the ones who first experienced nga po this blended learning environment. So, syempre, andito po kami nung BB Collaborative pa po ang ginagamit natin, di ba? So, syempre, first year namin, we were all very excited kasi nga, online learning na siya. Syempre, it's a new way of learning and we all really weren't expecting to learn this way. Syempre, pati mga profs din po, parang napasubok din po sila. Syempre, there are a lot of professors who aren't very tech-savvy and did not really know how to operate some of these apps. So, syempre, nahirapan talaga on both sides. And then, I think, mas evident na po siya siguro ngayon. Syempre, no first year, energy pa po lahat ng students. Pero I think right now, siguro mas umunti po yata yung pumapasok or marami na po nag-LOA muna. Kasi I think, as much as na, syempre, na-prepare po talaga ng UST ang kanilang staff and students with online learning, I think it's also a matter of fact na parang madami din po talagang students na hindi kinaya tong length na ganito. Siyempre, ang haba na po natin in the pandemic. And I think that's really one factor that we still have yet to really prepare on. Yung longevity po talaga ng online learning. I think it's really not a band-aid solution. Siyempre, we still want to go back to face-to-face classes. So, yun nga din po talaga. Madami pong nawala din na students from their universities kasi I think it's really taking a big part of their mental health to really keep up this learning environment.
And yung connections pa natin, internet connectivity, yun din ang problema, no? Kasi ilang kayo sa isang bahay nagagamit niyan. And sino ang may mga gadgets, the laptop, on our end, hindi naman tayo nag-prepare ng ganito. Paano, halimbawa, kung in your family, there are 5 children at 2 lang ang may laptop, nag-sharing pa yung iba noon. At medyo, there was a time na talagang hindi na nagbibenta nung bago pa lang ang pandemic. Talagang parang naubos yung mga laptop nila. Kahit may pambili ka, hindi ka makakabili. Ang daming challenges that we faced because of this pandemic. But with God's grace, for for as long as our health is okay, then we have to be grateful, no? With all of this.
Yes po, I agree po talaga na both students and teachers po talaga nag-adjust and nahirapan when online classes started po. Kasi it's totally different from the setup din na nakasanayan po natin. And nagkamustahan session din po kasi kami before. And medyo naiyak lang po kasi ako doon sa isa kong classmate. Umattend pa rin po siya ng class namin kahit na nag-positive po sila lahat sa bahay, ganun. And many families po kasi during this pandemic, I think marami po talagang nawalan ng trabaho. So, walang pambili ng sariling laptop, ganun po. Or yung iba po, wala na pong pambayad ng tuition, kaya LOA na po yung nila, option.
Pero kung titingnan nyo, ang ating university na talagang kahit 5,000 lang makaka-enroll ka na, 'di ba? Last year. Tapos ang payment every month na lang. Alam mo, ang laki ng naitulong ng University of Santo Tomas sa atin. Tapos ngayon, imagine that na in terms of the tuition fee, very affordable yung atin. Pero dahil nga sa dami ng nawalan ng trabaho, nawalan ng mga business, alam mo, maraming mga estudyante ang nag-stop mag-aral. Pero makikita mo sa atin sa University of Santo Tomas na nag-hire pa tayo ng mga faculty members dahil maraming sections maraming estudyante ang nag-enroll sa atin. Andun yung tulong nila sa atin. And I'm very happy for that. There was a time we interviewed itong ating mga scholars. Kahit hindi na sila pala nag-work dun sa, halimbawa sa library, still, UST was paying for their tuition fees. Napakabait. Kasi yung iba niyan, puputulin ang tuition, diba? Pero ang UST, they continued paying for the tuition fees of our scholars. Kahit hindi na sila nagtatrabaho. Kaya nung malaman ko yun lately, alam mo, I was so touched. We're grateful na nandito pa tayo, our families are complete, and we need to pray for all the people or students, faculty members, academic staff na nagka-COVID at minalas. There are a lot of programs offered by the university through the career and counseling centers. You have guidance counselors, and they are always there to help us. And if you think also that I can help you, lalo na kayo, you know my email address. And I am very much willing to help. That's my advocacy, helping others.
Yes, I agree po, di ba? And students must not be afraid to seek help din po, di ba, when they need to.
True, no? Kasi matutulungan tayo. Hindi pwedeng we will be keeping everything to ourselves. Because they might develop. They might. I'm not saying that everyone will develop. If they will keep all those sad experiences to themselves, they might develop what? Psychological imbalance. Yung iba talagang andun yung anxiety, andun yung depression, but we need to seek help coming from our professionals. No? Ang gagaling ng ating guidance counselors. May psychologist na rin tayo sa ating health service sa UST. Tapos, if in case you'll be afflicted with COVID-19, you just have to declare. May doctor yan na i-assign sa inyo to monitor your condition. I don't know with the other universities, no? Pero sa atin, kahit bago pa lang ang lockdown, nandoon na yung services being offered by the university to the students and to the faculty members.
So, yun nga guys, di ba? There are people na makakatulong sa inyo. about sa mga pinagdadaanan nyo. So don't be afraid to seek help pagka kailangan nyo, diba? So to further expound on the topic, we would like to hear your thoughts po on a comment under a recent post made by UST regarding the academic break. So I'll read a comment from an anonymous person. So this person commented, "I don't get this generation. Classes started in August and you're asking for a so-called break. They compromised by giving you 2 days off. And yes, you still have to pass the requirements. That's just how it is. Back in college, we had to work on reports during the Christmas break. Yes, it was exhausting, but that's just how it is. The world won't stop for you. Your feelings are valid, but also think of the thousands of people who can be affected by the no work, no pay policy. So if you have so much time to scroll through social media, then pretty sure you have time to work on your requirements."
So that is from our anonymous person. So what are your thoughts about this, Dr. Agnes?
About academic break, no? The university is really extending a lot of compassion to everyone. Nagpapa-asynchronous, nung face-to-face, nako, ang daming binibigay ng mga assignments. You know what? We also have to think of the quality of education that we're going to give to the students. We are aware that this is pandemic, but we have to make sure as well that we will give what is due to. The virtual mode of learning is one of the best approaches that we can use during the pandemic. However, we have to make sure that we should have also our self-care. Kasi ang academic break lang naman na hinahabol natin pag halimbawa may mga bagyo, merong mga typhoon, diba? Merong mga calamities other than this pandemic. And you know, if you will just inform your teachers, nung nag-surge yung COVID-19, if you will just inform your teachers, immediately andun yung compassion. If I may share with you, I have a student, I was checking the attendance. Sabi ko, saan si Miss ganito? She informed me that, yun nga, nawala na yung daddy niya. Naintindihan ko yun. Alam nyo, yung mga teachers nyo, yung mga administrators natin sa UST, naiintindihan namin kayo. Kaya yung compassion nandun. But you have to make sure as well that what is supposed to be given to the students should be given to you. Andun pa rin yung quality education, hindi natin pwedeng i-sacrifice yun. Kasi paano yung future nyo? And the university is doing a lot for the students, for our stakeholders. And you know that. Talaga ang laki ng yung compassion na ibinibigay sa mga students is always there. Kaya dapat magsabi lang sa teachers ninyo kung merong mga problema, kung halimbawa may mga health problems sa family, kasi hindi natin naiiwasan na itong COVID eh. Palapit ng palapit kung sino ang nagkakaroon, di ba? Kaya magsabi lang, may intindihan kayo niya. Kasi we have to be flexible in dealing with all of you. And huwag mahiya pag merong mental health conditions. Huwag mahiya, lumapit lang sa guidance counselors ninyo. Mag-email lang kayo, sabi ko nga, especially for Ella, no? And Andre, you know my email address. And si Nikki, if you need my help, I will be here for you.
So yun nga po talaga, no? It's really all about the compassion that we give into these times talaga po na in every situation, there's always two sides of the coin. So, syempre, we have to take into perspective both sides. Yung sa school, sa teachers, and of course, sa students. And we all have our own hardships. And I think it's really safe to say that for most students, I think it's really a matter of how we deal with it right now. Talaga po. With it, given that we were given what is due. So, the 2 days, I think most of the students really felt that it wasn't for long enough. Ganun po sometimes kasi maybe some felt that the school did not really get that they were experiencing much deeper problems. And syempre, there is also a lack of communication that we want to initiate. Syempre, our students are still sometimes afraid to express their concerns to the school kasi sometimes they might just degrade them or parang i-dismiss lang yung idea of those breaks. Pero given that UST has always given us consideration, it's really a great point po talaga, diba? Our administrators never fail to always think for the students' shoes and give us sometimes breaks talaga po.
I think this academic break po kasi is really for the students whose mental health has deteriorated by this pandemic. Yung mga students and their immediate families who tested positive for COVID-19 and yung mga kailangan talagang mag-recover, yung mga namatayan po, and siguro for working students na rin para makapagpahinga po sila. So I think we must see things from a broader perspective po before commenting. Kasi many people are struggling during these trying times. So yun nga po, sabi niyo, diba, it's really important to show compassion po. But if you haven't made any progress with your schoolwork just because yun nga, tinamad ka lang, then call yourself out because you'll be the one who'll suffer and cramp po, diba, at the end of the day. So for my next question, do you already notice any signs of poor work-life balance in your current lifestyle po?
Very good question. As of this time, no. Because I have to balance everything. My work, my family, and doing my advocacies to people who are suffering from mental health problems. I have time. If I may share with you, do you want that I'll be sharing my schedule with you? 9:30, 9:30 at night, I will sleep. And I'll wake up 5 or 5:30. And I'll start my exercise. And 6:15, I'll stop because I have to join my children who are also studying. I have to join them for breakfast. Mabilis kami kumain. And after that, before 7 o'clock, nakaligo na. At 7, I'm working already as your assistant dean of the College of Science. And I'm responding to the needs of our students in the college and also to the other concerns. And the work-life balance is really very important. If I have the time, I usually cook. Kakaluto pa ako niyan. And at 12 noon, we're complete for our lunch. And sa kinalalagyan ko ngayon, I'm here in my room, in our room. Open yan yung aking door. Nakikita ko yung mga anak ko doing their online classes. And big deal sa kanila yung snacks at 4 p.m. At doon, kinukumusta ko sila, kumusta sila. And kung may mga assignments, what are the assignments? Kasi my youngest is already grade 8 in Ateneo. My second is grade 11 at St. Teresa's College. And my eldest is 4th year college, UP Diliman. Palagi kong kinukumusta sila. Because I'm also thinking about their mental health conditions. Kumusta kayo? Kasi from 7 o'clock sila. My other daughter, we will start at 7 and will end at 4. 1 hour lang ang break. I'm also telling them, busy lang kami talaga during enrollment. Alam mo yung accreditation namin. Pero I always have time for my family and for my work. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, kahit before the pandemic, we used to pray the rosary as a family. Yun ang aking sekreto sa buhay. And the work-life balance in the current lifestyle for the pandemic, I would say that I have a very good work-life balance. Despite the fact that I'm already, hindi ko nasasabihin sa inyo yung age ko, ha? Pero hindi ko nararanasan na palagi ako. Kasi makikita mo yung mga signs ng poor work-life balance kung palagi kang pagod. Pag napapagod ka, yung palagi kang pagod, parang masasakit ang buong katawan mo. Yun yung mga signs eh. Tapos palagi mo as if you're not enjoying. Ako nag-enjoy ako kahit nandito lang ako sa bahay. And I'll see to it that all our workspaces, kanya-kanya kaming work, kanya-kanya kaming 5 kaming, 3 yung mga anak kong gumagamit ng online classes, no? Ako, tapos yung asawa ko nag-hearing. Lumalabas lang ako dito sa kwarto ko pag nag-hearing na siya eh. And I'll try to connect with my mother. My mom is still alive. She's 81 years old. She's in Samar. I used to call her over the phone every day. I used to ask my brothers and sisters, kumusta kayo? Pati yung mga pamangkin ko. Kasi nag-aaral din sila. Baka may mga, alam mo yon, yung mental health issues na nag-adjust din sila. Sa awa ng Diyos, okay naman sila. And my relationship with my family is not struggling. Kasi makikita mo kung yung work-life balance mo hindi maganda. Tapos yung iba palagi na lang nasa cellphone. Ako, gumagamit talaga ako ng cellphone. Because of my work. Kasi mas madali, di ba? Pero I have to make it sure that I can attend to what is really needed for the students in the college, with my family. It's just a matter of giving a good focus, no, to what you are doing. This is my experience during the pandemic. And it's just a matter of prioritizing things. Ako, marami kaming trabaho ng aking dean. Kahit Attorney Granado din, yung administrators niyo. Ang daming trabaho niya. But we tried to have a very good work-life balance. And also, you have to enjoy yourself. And your relationship with your family is really very important. You show your love to your parents, to your children, by saying, I love you every day. Tapos, make sure ha, lalo na kayo mga students kayo na lahat maayos yung work area nyo para you'll be more motivated to work, to study. Kasi pag hindi maayos yung kinalalagyan nyo, lahat messy, alam nyo yon, walang motivation on your part to study, di ba? But our health also should be our priority. And you can use the holiday to enjoy yourselves, no, with your families. Ako, alam mo, pag halimbawa stressed na stressed ako, kumakanta ako. Kahit sintonado ako, but I'm enjoying. Nare-relieve yung aking, alam mo, yung mga problema ko nawawala. And all those problems will be released. Huwag nyo rin isipin masyado yung trabaho. Yes, we need to work, no? But make sure that you have to take care of yourself. There should be a self-care. Give time also to yourself and to your family. Kailanganin natin magtrabaho. Pero sabi ko, our health, especially nowadays, it should be our top priority.
I agree with you po, Ma'am Agnes, na syempre, I think that's really one thing that parents of all students really need to take into consideration, na yung time and effort na maki-hello lang sa anak nila, kasi syempre, they're also working, and yung communication within the house is really important kasi there are certain arrangements, diba po, kunwari, when you're having class, sasabihin mo sa nanay mo, Ma'am, may klase ako, wag po sana maingay, or vice versa sa mga anak nila. Mga anak, gagamit ako ng wifi ngayon, pwede bang, wag mo na kayo maglaro, ganun. So it's really a compromise between the family. It's really important in all our situations currently. And syempre, not everyone has a conducive learning environment that allows them to fully learn in their houses. Syempre, may mga bahay na panliliit, so syempre tabi-tabi kayo nag-aaral. So, mahirap po talaga yung mga sitwasyon nila at yung mga current struggles po nila that they're facing. And it's really, yung patience po talaga natin with online learning, it really needs to be big. Kasi syempre, ang hirap talaga po mag-online learning. Much more mag-online teach. Kasi syempre, naranasan na din po namin na mag-group meeting, and then syempre, naranasan namin yung sa mga teachers, ay, wala pa na nag-on cam. Parang ang hirap pausap ng mga estudyante. Bakit ganito? Diba, ganun po siguro yung mga teachers. And then, for us, syempre, it's really hard to keep motivated during these times. Kasi, where can we find motivation? We're always stuck in the house. Parang wala po kami makitang mga tao. And that's why we really want person-to-person interaction.
I agree dun sa sinabi ni Dr. Agnes, yung it's really important to take a rest po. Kasi diba, we have to recharge then after being drained, diba? And I think po kasi resting is also one way of rewarding ourselves for being able to get through the week, especially now in the pandemic, diba? We have struggles and problems, and if you think you've been productive po, diba, despite all of that, then you deserve to rest, diba? We should not forget to take care of ourselves. We should also do the things that we love, diba? We should also spend time with our friends and family.
Yun nga, given that we are now, especially in the new normal, wherein there is no clear separation between your duties as a student or perhaps as teacher and responsibilities at home. Even adults find it hard to juggle everything at once. Siyempre, naglilinis ka, sabay magtuturo ka, gagawa ka ng modules. Taking that into retrospection, how can we cope up?
Coping with all the challenge in our life is just a matter of, as I've told you, planning. We have to plan ahead of time. And how are we going to cope with all of this? With all the problems that we encountered, during online classes, during the pandemic, and how are we going to cope with the struggles that we have at this point in time of ours? Number one is there should be a support group. It's always our family. At the end of the day, it's always your family members, your mom, your dad, who will always, and your siblings will take care of you and assured you of the love. And if we have problems, and they are there always for us. And another one is the guidance of the Lord. You always have to put or place the Lord as the center of your life, because we will be guided. Another is, if you have problems, huwag nyo nang patagalin. Halimbawa with your teachers. Immediately inform your teacher. You can email them. You can tell them. Maiintindihan nila kayo. There are a lot of ways, how to cope with all the problems that we have. And your teachers, and also the guidance counselors, seek professional help. During the pandemic, it will help you. And also meditation, that would help you. And you should know your priorities in life. How to cope? Take care of yourself. Take care of your body. Try to eat healthy, well-balanced meals. Hindi yung palagi na lang yung mga junk foods. Exercise regularly. Sleep is also very important. Avoid alcohol. Take time to unwind. Try to do some activities that you enjoy. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, di ba? Ako, pag stressed ako, that's one way on how I can take care of myself and how I could unwind. Connect with others. Importante yun. You connect with others. Lalo na yung family mo, yung mga kaibigan mo. Connect also with your community. Ngayong mga panahon, hindi lang tayo niyan, huwag kayong mahiya. Baka sinasabi nila yung social stigma na pag lumapit ka sa psychologist, pag lumapit ka sa guidance counselors na may sira ng ulo mo, no. Hindi yun. Huwag kayong mahiya. We are here to guide you. We are here to help you. If you think you are in crisis, get immediate help from professionals. Kung ang problema nyo is academics, you cannot, parang hindi mo masabayan, lalo na sa mathematics, no? Hindi mo masabayan yung teacher mo. Discuss it with your teachers. Talagang tutulungan kayo ng teachers nyo. Sabi ko nga yung compassion na ini-extend sa inyo, ini-extend ng university sa mga estudyante, nandoon. So, kailangan talaga marunong ka ring tumulong sa'yo to resolve your problems. Kasi, at the end of the day, ikaw lang din ang makakatulong sa sarili mo. Talagang ngayong pandemic, there are a lot of challenges. Pero kayang-kaya natin ito malampasan. Students, teachers, administrators, kayang-kaya natin ito malampasan. And I'm grateful, no, that the university is extending a lot of assistance to everyone. Keep moving. Find ways to cope with your problem. And of course, you have to do activities that you like, you enjoy, and be grateful always to the Lord for all the blessings that we have received.
With that being said, our last question for tonight is a question that we're really curious about what your answer would be. So the question is, when is it okay to not be okay? And when is it not okay to be okay? Seeing as this pandemic has not only taken a toll on us mentally, but physically, spiritually, as well as losing time for self-care and medication.
When it is okay not to be okay. For example, right now, no, with this pandemic, that's beyond our control. Hindi okay ito sa atin. But we have to have a very good disposition in life. We must enjoy staying at home and connect with our loved ones. It's quite hard, no? But we have to deal with the new norm. If I may share with you, last March, my husband and I tested positive for COVID-19. I didn't go out of the house for 3 weeks. And it was only my husband who went out of the house. So I'm pretty sure it's not me who got the virus. And if I'll be the one to get the virus, pati yung mga anak namin. Kasi from time to time, mommy, from time to time, I'm monitoring them. I was having classes with the UST Graduate School. I feel parang kakaiba siya. Parang giniginawa ko. Parang nag-fever ako. When I got my temperature, it's 37.7. After a few minutes, 37.3. Hindi nga ako uminom ng paracetamol. But I immediately isolate myself. That day, so careful ako kasi nga yung mga anak ko ayaw ko silang hawakan. That day, nag-fever na yung husband ko. But we considered ourselves COVID positive patients. And it's not okay, diba? But I have to be okay. I have to deal with the situation. I have to address mental health concerns for my children. I have to plan. Of course, I cried. We're just human beings. And the worst was, I was the first one to receive through email my result that I tested positive. I cried, and that night, I did not sleep. But I came to realize that I should stop all this drama in my life and plan. I have to take care of my husband. I was asymptomatic, and my husband was suffering from mild symptoms. And I have also some work to do in the college because it was the time for the admission of our incoming freshmen. I worked. I declared through comments, ang laking tulong ng UST sa akin. Bakit? Nung nag-declare ako sa kanila, COVID positive ako, binigyan ako ng, alam mo, tinatawagan ka ng doctor from UST. Nagpasalamat ako kasi nga, aside from our personal family doctor, meron pang isang nagmo-monitor. I did not go on leave kasi nagagawa ko naman yung mga trabaho ko. But we were isolated from our children. It's just that I have to, plan paano kami kakain, paano yung mga bata. It was not okay. We're not okay. But I have to do it in such a way that we have to live as normal as possible. And with all of this that happened, the coping mechanism is that I tried to take care of ourselves, connect with others, sleep well, kung kailangan matulog, and prepare myself also for the worst. But the Lord is really very good. I'm grateful sa awa ng Diyos. Okay naman kami. After 14 days, we had our pre-swab. Nag-positive pa ako. Yung husband ko negative na. Alam mo yun, umiyak ulit ako. Pero, and I'm so thankful to the doctors, na wala na yun, ganito na yun, mga remnants na lang yun. But I have to make sure that everything will be okay, even if the situation was not okay anymore.
Happy naman po talaga, Doktora. Siyempre, I think in your story, it really showed na you were the every essence of the word ilo ng tahanan. Siyempre, you are the mother of your house, and when it comes to this pandemic right now, it's really something that we're not okay with. Siyempre, ang hirap maging okay ngayon kasi ang dami nga po nangyayari with our families, and it's really nice to see and hear about your story na siyempre, at first when you heard about your current situation about COVID, siyempre, okay na naman na you weren't okay with the results. Siyempre, it's a natural response. You were shocked, of course, but then you really had to build up courage and siyempre show to your daughters and son na everything will be okay, and let's plan this through. Let's plan this as a family that we can really get through with this pandemic. That's really one of my takeaways from this podcast, diba? Na with the pandemic, we really have to plan ahead, and syempre, a plan will not succeed without any actions. We really have to act through with our plans. And pertaining to our work-life balance, it's really nothing bad if we take a break, diba? Syempre, these breaks are really essential to us people kasi nga, we're not made to always keep working. There's something wrong if we keep working. Syempre, we need some humor. Yung nga sabi nila, humor is one of the best medicines. And then, syempre, always remember to be aware of yourself and aware of others in your area. Syempre, it's really yun nga, compassion, awareness, and patience, especially in the pandemic.
Yun nga guys, diba? Grabe, ang dami na natin na pag-usapan about the importance of good work-life balance, having a support group, compassion, self-care, time management, being patient, expressing your love for your loved ones, taking a rest, and planning ahead, diba? And because of everything we've talked about, I realized na self-care po is very important, especially now amid the pandemic. It's vital to take care of ourselves para di tayo magkasakit or deteriorate ang ating mental health, diba? We all have struggles and problems during these trying times, so let's be kind to ourselves. Don't forget to rest and do things that are therapeutic for you to recharge after being drained or burnout from schoolwork and everything that's happening around us, diba? As the saying goes nga, you cannot pour from an empty cup. So take care of yourself first so you can be able to help others po. I really learned a lot po, and I hope that you guys learned something as well from all the insights shared by our speaker. But before we end this episode, we would like to give this certificate of appreciation to Dr. Maria Claudette A. Agnes, PhD, RPsy, RPM, for sharing her invaluable time and expertise as a resource speaker during the podcast titled B.L.I.P, Being Left in a Phase, held on October 18, 2021 via YouTube Live. Given this 18th day of October in the year of our Lord 2021 at the University of Santo Tomas, Manila, Philippines. Signed by Ms. Jershime K. Kirao, President of the UST CTHM Student Council, Associate Professor Evangeline E. Timbang, CHE, and Ms. Maria Margarita P. Cruz, MBA. Advisors of UST CTHM Student Council, Reverend Father Roland D. Mactal, OP, STHD, Regent, and Attorney Justice Jessie G. Granado, DCL, Dean.
So would you like to say any parting words po, Dr. Agnes, to our listeners right now for B.L.I.P?
Thank you very much for the invitation. Sana may matutunan kayo sa ating session ngayon. At sana may apply nyo rin sa ating mga problema, lalo na ngayong pandemic. Honestly, nag-enjoy ako sa inyo. Thank you so much.
Of course, we are really grateful to have you in this podcast, ma'am, and we really learned a lot from our session. For everyone, thanks for listening for B.L.I.P, Being Left in the Face, with your hosts, Andy Babs and Ellie Remedios. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the topic of this episode, and as always, you can head over to our official YouTube channel and social media platforms for more news and updates.
And don't forget to join us on our next episode. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the UST CTHM Student Council official YouTube channel. So thank you guys for listening, and this has been B.L.I.P, Being Left in Face, signing off.